We're live. Bam. We're live. Hi, Dave.
We are.
We are. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Skip Happens. Here we go. It's another night of some fun and some great information. You get to meet another artist. We are so very happy. First of all, my name's Skip Clark, the host of Skip Happens, and my good friend on top tonight.
I got moved around.
Good luck, Donnie. I get that wrong. Yeah, there she got it. That's Deb Lamphere. She is the president and founder of the official country music fan club and works a lot in Nashville. And it's good to see her again. It's always, I think we're like podcast couple. We're like a husband and wife, but podcast. Yeah. That's it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to introduce this guy. He's the official 2020 ACMA Fan Choice Award winner. Nashville, Las Vegas performer. He's been on, of course, satellite radio, doing really well. He's got a single that you can hear on the radio right now. We're pretty excited because it rocks. Got me this far. Hey, everybody, I want you to say hi to my new friend. We've been having a great conversation, Mr. Donny Lee, everybody. There he is.
You got that part right.
Look at it. I went like this.
Wait. Oh, crap. See, I can't. There we go.
I could never work in TV. Donny.
I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch.
I know, exactly. Exactly. All the little windows, too. It's like, wow, it's crazy. It's crazy. Donny Lee, how are you, my friend?
100%. Great to be here with you guys. How are you?
We're doing well. It's been a busy week for us, and I suppose it's been a busy week for you as well. But thank you for taking the time to join us here tonight and talk about you and talk about your music and what's going on. And the first question, which if you watch Skip Happens right along, you know what the first question is going to be. Donny, explain your surroundings. Where are you?
Right now, I'm in Nashville, at my home here in Nashville with my wife and my family, and we just got back from California. But that's another story. But yeah, we're here in Nashville.
California. What was that? Was it music related?
Yeah. Can you believe it? They're opening in California, and we had some shows out there with Tyler Rich and some other artists, and things were pretty happening last weekend.
Oh, we love Tyler. We had Tyler on the podcast here not too long ago.
He's a great guy.
Good guy. Really good guy.
Great family guy, and his wife bopping around in the background and stuff. You know, she just loves being involved in everything. How cool is that? But let's talk about you. All right, you've been doing this for a little bit. You're an independent artist. Like say you got a song on the radio now, got me this far. But let's see, how did you get this far though? Let's go back and your beginnings. When did you start playing music, and kind of bring us up to date?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, actually, because I'm pretty proud of the fact that I grew up in a household where, first of all, I was adopted, but my adopted father used to play in a band, and then my mom learned how to play bass guitar a little bit and then fronted her own band. And then as children, coming from parents that were both in music, my brother and my two sisters ended up getting into music as well. So we were, some sang, my brother played drums. Yeah, it wasn't a family band, although believe it or not, we did do a couple of different occasions, I guess you would call it, not formal gigs, but a Christmas party or something like that, where we would all get together and do a little singing, playing.
Very cool. Have you your biological mother, have you had the chance to meet her, or
so my biological mother was my mother. My biological father I had only got to meet two different times, and that was it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. But you did get to meet him though.
I did. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't mean to get off the beaten path here about the music, but I always feel that is so interesting. A good friend of mine who does a morning radio show, and we have him on our radio station, Big D and Bubba. Bubba he got on a plane and met up with his biological mother for the first time this past weekend. And it was just amazing to hear the story. So
it is, it can be a good story or it can be a bad story, to tell you the truth. Sometimes there's a reason behind it. And sometimes, you hear about positive stories all the time. And my biological father, as well as my adopted father, have both since passed on. But I did get a chance to meet my biological father, and was very proud of my dad that adopted me and raised me as a child.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
Love
cool.
hearing those stories.
I know
Yeah.
exactly. It's just so heartwarming, and it even adds to what you do as a musician. I think having a heart like that and being who you are, and your life experiences make you a better country artist. Because country music, I think, it's all about life experiences. It's all about what we go through every day. And
Yeah.
we listen to your music and we go, "Man, that's about me. That song he wrote that about me." I mean,
And
We
that's
can relate.
precisely,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
precisely, why this song, it just means as much as it does to me, is
Mhm.
because it's, everybody has their own little story. And if you take a look at all of the steps that got you to where you are, there's going to be good, there's going to be bad, there's going to be hills, there's going to be valleys. But at the end of the day, never forget all of those things, because at the end of the day, it's the sum of all parts. It's what brings, it's what brought you to where you are at that moment.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Wow. Donnie, tell us about your creative process a little bit. When you sit down to write music, tell us about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, as far as writing goes, I really don't. Just a long story short, my wife and I do all of our writing together.
Oh, cool.
And usually she's the smart one that comes up with the idea first.
Mhm.
And then I jump on the bandwagon and go, well, kind of, this is what I think, and here's where we need to go. And we end up creatively working on a lot of that stuff together. This song, however, was not one that I wrote. This one has been written by a team of, Aaron Goodman was one of the
Oh,
writers, who
yeah.
I'm sure you guys know
Yes.
through
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah, through the same channel and stuff. But yeah, I mean, this was not one of the ones that we did. It was just one that we just had to be a part of.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I also heard that you've opened for Aaron many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that? Man, we had a chance to talk to him a few weeks back, and
Mhm.
just, getting into his background and being from Canada as well. It was just it's just pretty awesome.
He's a firecracker, and he's just a great guy.
Yeah, all around, all
What
around.
you see is what you get.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. What's it like to be opening for him? You say he's a firecracker and all that and a great guy, but to be on that stage and just what's that like?
Aaron's just a great human being. He's just, I mean,
Mhm.
like I said, I mean, whether he's on the stage and he comes off the stage, or whether he's at the award show, or no matter where he is, he never changes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you get along with him, if you get along with him in front of the stage, you'll get along with him backstage. I mean, he's just a great human being.
Mhm. Now you said your wife is writing music with you. Is she, is
Mhm.
she, is she a musician as well?
No, no, she just it's funny because I'll wake up in the middle of the night, I'll be like, what's that sound? And it'll be my wife grabbing a little sound recorder and going, and she's humming
Mhm.
little things as she's going. And she's a huge
Wow.
fan of country music, and she just loves the process of writing and being involved.
Mhm. Did you meet her through doing
Yeah,
country music? Yeah.
yeah, quite a while ago, actually.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm not
Ooh.
sure if I should disclose how many years
I was
ago
gonna
that
say,
was.
Well,
there
no, you
must
don't
be a
have to do
story
that.
behind that.
Yeah.
28 years ago.
Well, you didn't have to say
Hey,
it.
Yeah,
yes, oh, why not?
Oh, that's nothing. 28.
28.
That's nothing.
Of
You're
course,
still
I
kind
was
of a baby.
three. I
Yeah.
was three, but yeah.
Started young.
Uh,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I got it. But that's kind of cool. And the other thing about that, having your wife help like that, it's almost, I know this is about you and it's not about me, but being a radio guy, and I have to sit down and sometimes write promos, or I have to
yeah.
write a commercial, and I just can't get the right thing down. And I'll go, all right, Nance, look, and I'll give her something. This is what I'm trying to do. And then all of a sudden she's like just throwing ideas out there, and I'm going, I like that. Why didn't I
Mhm.
think of that? Obviously, I'm not to the brains of the family.
Yeah, so
You know,
Skip, I think that the same thing holds true, and maybe probably even more so for you guys, is when you're writing a script or something like
mhm,
that.
mhm,
When you write a song, let's be real. If you write 1,000 songs in your entire lifetime, that's one thing, and then eventually things begin to almost start to sound the same. But
mhm, mhm.
you guys are dealing with advertisements for
Oh yeah.
Lord only knows how many people on a daily,
Mhm.
weekly, monthly, annual basis. So you're probably more subject to the same
Mm. Yeah.
Same thing there, because you got so many that you're doing. I mean, if you're dealing with a tire company and you're doing another tire company, then how do you talk differently about the tires?
Right, exactly. But you got to come up with a different way. I
You have
mean,
to, yeah.
every single spot, you're right, it can't sound the same.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
That's right.
Did I miss something? Is there something missing here? I don't know. No, you know what it is? Whether you're doing what you're doing, or I'm doing what I do, or Deb does what she does, we love what we do. And that's
Yes.
why we do it.
Amen.
It's not about a lot of that other. It's
Yeah.
about loving what you do. And you love to play music. I love working in radio. It's the same thing. And it brings us all together. And we're like,
and I love listening to you guys on radio. So this is a match.
That's a good win-win, let me tell you.
And especially he really enjoys listening when I'm playing a song by Donny Lee. Got me this far. So I'm just saying.
So you had mentioned earlier, this song just hit the charts just below or right around who? Dierks Bentley, did you say? And
no. So what happened was we get reports, as you guys know, before you get to the charts, the week that you get added to radio with Music Row, with all of the stations, it's Impact Week, as you guys know it. I was number 3 for the entire week. So number 1 was Luke Bryan's new single. Number 2 was Thomas Rhett's, and then mine happened to be number 3 for the week. So
dang, can't get any better than that. That's awesome.
You know, when you see your name up there with those others, it's like, dude, this is freaking cool.
I was trying to figure out how somebody edited that and made my name end up there on number 3.
I don't know. You know, somebody at the chart place. I don't know. Whether it be Music Row, Indicator, or Media Base. So
that's fantastic news.
And
thank you. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Gwen says hello. By the way, I see she just chimed in here.
Gwen has followed me forever. Actually, I think Gwen had put a post on from 2 years ago. I was doing a show 2 years ago today. I think she was at one of my shows, or yesterday.
Excellent. Well, welcome, Gwen. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Being on the chart and being up there with the big guys, that means you're going to be on that big stage sooner rather than later. I can tell you that much. And to get like the third most added, anybody that does what you and I do, and for anybody watching and listening, when you're the third most added song, that's big. That's all over the country. That's huge. That's huge.
And for my first single going to US radio too. I mean, I was I didn't know what the expectation should be, but I got to tell you, the team behind the song right now, Grassroots in Nashville, and they're just a bunch of consummate professionals, as we had discussed before the show. And it's been a real treat, a real pleasure to be working with some people that really do legitimately have your back.
You know, and they do. Go ahead.
They do.
Well, you were saying earlier, because I love for our listeners to hear this, how important it is. Maybe we don't want to have patience at times, but how important it is, especially for artists that are getting out there, to wait for the right timing. Because as you said earlier, you know, there's kind of like a pace that you had to set to get this out when the time was right. And it absolutely has paid off in this case.
You know, it's real easy to get discouraged and hear somebody say no. But I learned a long time ago that no is spelled KNOW. You know, it's they don't know. They don't know. We don't know. They don't know. Together, there's something missing, and we have to figure out which somebody has to move. And unfortunately, in this business, I'm the only one that can move, because if it doesn't sound right, why would you play it? And why would anybody like it? So, you know, if you have patience and you work your craft, you know, I waited for a long time for Grassroots to actually give me a chance, and they finally got me this far, and some of the other music that we were doing, and said, you know what, I think we're ready. So, and it couldn't have happened any better.
You know, exactly. And the way they went about it, I think, is really good. They didn't want you to jump into something if you weren't ready. All right. And also the nice thing about Nancy and Renee and the whole staff, the crew at Grassroots, is they've got a musical background. And I think, you know, they've been either married to performers, or somehow, some way they've got that connection. So they know where you're coming from. And I think they're going to be honest with you as an artist. Say, hey, dude, nah, we need to wait a little bit. You're not quite ready. Go back and work on this thing. Come back and see us. They're not just going to take your money and push your song to radio and have it go nowhere. They're
Yeah.
gonna help you out. I know
That's
that's the way
right.
they work. They're awesome.
Mhm.
All right,
They're
that's my
great.
plug for Grassroots.
I love it.
No, I love them. Seriously, I love
Mhm.
them, and they've sent a lot of artists our way. And you know, all of you is all of the artists that have been sent our way, just phenomenal. So it's
Well,
good.
it's great to hear.
Yeah.
Glad to
What
be a
is
part of the great company.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope it all works out for you. What's the
Yeah.
best advice you've ever been given?
You know what? I was actually talking with a uh, fellow Canadian artist. His name was Dwayne Steele. His name
Mhm.
is Dwayne Steele. And I remember at an award show one time, he's got a very successful theater show that he does up in Canada. And it's a tribute to George Jones, the legend of George
Wow.
Jones. And I talked with him one time at a networking event for the Ag Society is what it was for. And we just started at that time ticketing our own theater show. And I said to Dwayne, I said, what's the one piece of advice you could give me? Because you know I get out there and I'm more of an entertainer, I feel, than I
Mhm,
am
mhm.
anything. So sometimes you feel like you just got to give them as much as you can possibly give them to make them feel like they got their money's worth. And the one thing he said to me that caught me off guard was he said, you got to let them breathe. And I said, what
Hmm.
does that mean? And he said, just give them a minute to just soak in the
Mhm.
show, the song, the story that you just told. Genuinely develop a connection with them.
Mhm.
Don't just ram a bunch of music down their throat. Get to
Mhm.
know them. Let them get to know you. It gives me goosebumps right now, actually
I know.
talking
I'm
about that
just like
because
blown away listening to this. It's cool.
it meant a lot to me. It
Absolutely.
meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cool.
You know, I just you being a Canadian artist in the beginning and all that, and and we talked to Lisa Brocup last night,
She's
and
amazing.
amazing,
Mhm.
amazing woman.
Yeah,
It just really baffles me that the music is so good and it's so big in Canada, but anything what comes over here on this side of the border, it's like okay, it struggles sometimes. It's like some of these songs are so good, they could be kicking ass in Canada, but then try it over here in the States and it doesn't fly. I don't get it. I don't understand.
you know, if I were to guess, the only real thing that I notice is um, when you come from Canada to the US, I think clearly if you've been in Canada your whole life, you wonder what it's like in the US. If you come from
Mhm,
the US, you wonder what it's like
Mhm.
in Canada. I remember the
mhm.
first time somebody told me they thought that everybody lived in an igloo just across the border in Canada. I just laughed.
Mhm.
They don't?
I thought,
Mhm.
for real? Like you really think it snows all the time there and it's cold? But the truth is, up especially in Alberta where I live, when I'm not here in Nashville, we farm, we raise
Mhm,
cattle,
mhm,
we
mhm,
rope and we ride, we get our boots dirty, and we understand what country living is all about. We understand what country life is all about.
hmm.
We talked with some friends that are writers and wrote some big stuff and had some amazing careers down here in Nashville. And I remember this one guy in particular, Galen Griffin. He wrote for Luke Bryan, Hey Baby, I'm a Countryman. He wrote Clay Walker, for
Mhm,
Joe
mhm,
Diffie,
mhm,
a whole
mhm.
bunch of them. Anyhow, he said, I couldn't believe my first tour I did up in Canada. And I said, man, look at that. What's all that land over there? And all them cattle. What's going on? Are they wild?
Mhm.
And someone said to him, no, that's a farm. He goes, they're that big? He couldn't believe that the farms were as big and people
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
wore boots
yeah,
and there was
yeah,
real country way of life up there. So
yeah. Have you had a chance to perform overseas at all, like in Ireland or anywhere like that? Because I
I
hear
did
country is
Australia last year. Yeah, I did
Ooh,
Australia last year.
holy cow.
nice.
Crazy. And they're actually they're ready as soon as the border opens up. There's talks of as soon as things open up, they're ready for us to come back over and play again. And I got a video that's video and the single Got Me This Far
Mhm,
is
mhm.
being played right across all of Australia right now, actually, because
Wow.
over there they've kind of got a network, which
Okay.
makes it a little more difficult. But the Kicks network,
Mhm, mhm.
which is one of the networks over there, they if they take your song, then all of Australia gets your song. If they don't take your song, then none of Australia gets your song,
It's either
kind of
all or
thing.
nothing. Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So we
amazing.
got to go over and play last year over there. And it was incredible.
It had to be incredible, but it's not an easy flight. It's not what, 16 hours, and then a long time to get, it's a long
That
thought
was
it
time.
was
just from
longer.
LA.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's longer than 16.
That
Yeah,
was
no.
just LA to Brisbane, and,
Uh-huh.
and then
Uh-oh.
from Bill, and then the rest of it was all driving and yeah.
Right. But I've also heard, the reason I asked you about Ireland and maybe England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that whole area, country is huge there. Country is a lot of our American artists have gone over there. Look at what Garth did. He brought the house
Garth.
down in places over there. I've got
Yeah.
a friend, an independent artist actually lives here in New York State in Southern Tier. They, up until the pandemic, they would tour every year. That's where they would go, and they would sell out all the venues because they love American country music. It's
So
just
we were, to answer your question, we were booked on I think it was 18 shows in 22 days. So we would fly to
Ooh.
Dublin and then over to the UK, and it was a full tour with I think it was Jeannie Seeley from the Grand Ole Opry and a bunch of
cool.
a bunch of other people, but it obviously didn't work out. The music business, everything's kind of changed here. But yeah, we were supposed to go over and do some shows over there. So
Wow.
yeah.
Amazing. It'll all you will though. You will.
Hey,
I think,
patience.
yeah,
Patience.
patience. That's exactly what
We'll
Deb
keep
said.
coming back to that, right, Deb?
It works. It has to work. So are you performing anywhere in Nashville while you're there? Or
All
you
the time,
write it?
actually. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really cool thing. You guys, I'm sure, have been to Nashville many a different
Many
times.
times.
So
Many times.
what I ended up doing was I've got my band that I play with when I'm here, and we just stay tight and keep playing music together. And the good news about Nashville is you don't have to work every day. You can decide, well, I'm not going to work this week, and there's someone else to cover for you all the time. So you can jump in and out based on how your touring schedule goes, based on whether you decide you're going in the studio and you need some vocal rest or whatever. So,
Mhm.
Do you have any favorite venues out there?
my favorite venue is I don't care if it's a little hole in the wall. If it's a place um, where you can just connect with the crowd. It doesn't. I've played some big places and I've played a lot of small places. I'm actually just kind of signed on with a brand new establishment that's just built on
Mhm.
5th and Broadway, and they're getting ready to open up their main stage, and I'll be playing there quite a bit.
Oh, cool.
Playing with the opening for a lot of the headliners and stuff that are going to be scheduled there throughout the year. But they've got a stage and out in front holds 2,000 people. So
I was just there 2 weeks ago, and we walked through that 5th and Broadway. I'm trying to figure out where the stage is because
so it's not open yet. It's so where you would have gone in, you probably would have
Mhm.
gone up and seen a little acoustic stage where a couple of people would have been playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the other side, Justin Timberlake just bought a club
Oh,
there. He's got like a
yeah.
rooftop place, and then on top of that, on the other side is this.
Oh.
I heard the audio, sound, and everything's over $2 million. So they really just put in a huge. Not sure if I was even supposed to disclose that, but yeah, they're making it state of the art. Let's just go ahead and say that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing
Good
wrong with that.
marketing for them. You're just
Yeah.
marketing. That's all.
And the downstairs actually is the largest Apple store in the world.
Oh my God, we saw that too. Oh, so
really?
it's right above the Apple store?
It's above the Apple store on the very top floor. Yeah.
Oh,
How did I miss the Apple store?
Well, first of all, I can't understand why they put an Apple store there. I'm not sure I understand. Well,
I can. You know how many people have lost their phones watching bands in the middle of the night down in Nashville?
Oh, I guess I didn't think of it that way. I'm thinking people are out drinking, partying, listening to music. Who's going to be running over to the Apple store? So,
I think being down here in Nashville quite often, and I know I might be getting a little bit off topic, but they built a convention center. It's a state-of-the-art convention center. And one of the things that they were lacking in the beginning, if you were listening to the news down here, was they would say there's not enough fine dining restaurants, there's not enough high-end hotels for because not everybody's here for country music. Sometimes they're here for sports, sometimes they're here for a convention or whatever. So that area, that little complex that within 5th and Broadway has a museum, it has shopping, it has salons, it has some nicer restaurants, and of course the Apple Store, and
Mhm.
And there you go. Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful. We ate at Blanco, I think it was.
Yeah.
When we were
Yeah,
there. Very
I've
good.
not tried it yet.
Very good.
Wow. Where do
So.
you like to go out to eat when in Nashville?
So I've eaten a lot of places in Nashville, a lot of places. But I mean, my recommendation for anybody that's ever come to Nashville, especially if you're from the north, like you guys,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's a place, one of my favorites. It's called Monell's. Now, I wouldn't recommend going there until, of course, the pandemic is all over, because when you go in, I'm not sure how they're doing it right now with the pandemic, but you normally sit at a great big table, and it's like you're sitting at grandma's table, and there's no menu. They got 3 meats. So there's always
Oh,
Southern
wow.
fried chicken, which is to die for. Sometimes you'll get some catfish, you'll get some ribs, some meatloaf, or, frog legs, or, whatever. And then you've got all your sides that go with it. And then you get all your banana pudding at the end.
Oh
I
my
mean, and
God.
it's like $15, and it's all you can eat, and everybody passes it one way around the table. Everyone has to do it a certain way around the
Mhm.
table, and the food is fantastic. And the best part about it, my wife and I have always been supporters of the food bank. No matter where we go, we try to raise money in every city that we go to for the local food banks. But the cool thing with these guys is they donate the rest of the food after you're done. Rather than it go to the next table, it goes to the homeless shelter.
Very nice.
Oh, that's
Love that.
So it
fantastic.
feeds other people as well.
Gonna have to check that place out, but that'd
Mhm.
probably be rather difficult right now with the pandemic.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure, because
Yeah.
normally when you sit at a table, if there's 4 of
Right.
you, you'll
Right.
sit at a table with 8 other people.
Right.
But
Mhm.
I'm sure that's not happening right now.
No, probably
Mhm.
not. Although I did hear today that Tennessee governor pretty much opened everything up 100%. Is that true?
Oh.
So yeah, but in the city of Nashville, the mayor has decided that that's not going to be the case. So like
Ah,
the state is
okay.
definitely opened up quite a bit, and the mayor of Nashville has done a great job of opening things up, but it's not 100% the way you would think.
I am. All right, I got you.
Still a mask mandate, and still social distancing. You still have a percentage of people that are allowed to be on each floor of a honky
Mhm,
tonk,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
so on
Mhm.
and so forth. So
Capacity
it's
limit.
there. It's just
Yeah,
not 100%.
right. Exactly.
Okay.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I saw you
Can't
had your
wait.
guitar there.
I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Would you mind playing something for us? So let's get
Sure.
back
Would
to the
you
music here a little bit. It's great conversation. It's good finding out about you and everything out there in Nashville.
you
And
want to hear the new single, or you want to hear something different first, or what are we thinking?
I'm thinking whatever you're
Yes and
thinking.
yes. Yes
Well,
and
why don't
yes.
we warm up with one that is not a single, and
Okay.
it's one of my favorite songs to play. And the reason for it is it's just a great love song, and everybody's a sucker for a good love song. And
Mhm.
Absolutely.
this one's called "You Better Believe It," and it goes
Okay.
like this.
It's Donny Lee.
You better believe it. A bottle of beer is better just this side of freezing. There's a line between one more and more than enough. You better believe it. Your word ain't worth a dime if you don't keep it. Yeah, and free advice is worth about that much. You better believe it. It's take it all the way straight to the bank kind of stuff. Just as sure as the sun comes up, it sets back down in the evening. And just plain and simple truths, like me loving you. When I say going to, as long as I'm breathing, you better believe it. Better believe it. When I look at you, I swear my heart stops beating. And then you steal it all over again like you're doing now. You better believe it. I'll tell you I love you every chance I get, and don't even need a reason. You don't have to doubt, you better believe it. It's take it all the way straight to the bank kind of stuff. Just as sure as the sun comes up, it sets back down in the evening. And just plain and simple truths, like me loving you. When I say I'm going to, as long as I'm breathing, you better believe it. Better believe it. Well, that snow out here, a couple rocking chairs, I can see it and still believe it. Hold a kiss I can't live without. You better believe it. It's take it all the way straight to the bank kind of stuff. Just as sure as the sun comes up, it sets back down in the evening. Just plain and simple truths, like me loving you. When I say I'm going to, as long as I'm breathing. When I say I'm going to, as long as I'm breathing, you better believe it. You better believe it.
Woo.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it.
So I have on my phone sitting here, I have, our little podcast, and I watch all the comments. There is thousands of hearts and likes and everything offline all over the place. You have a lot of fans watching.
Heart and like away.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And because they're all watching and listening right now, just before we go any further, how can somebody find out more about you, find out and get a hold of your music and all that?
Nice and easy. It's all Donny Lee Music. So Donny Lee Music is the Instagram, the Facebook. Donny Lee Music is the website.com. They can even email me. It's DonnyLeeMusic@gmail. I mean, I got no secrets here. Everything's Donny Lee Music.
Gotta love it.
And that's so cool that you're like that, because here again, it's country music, and you're part of a very unique group of people. I mean, we're all together doing this because we love it. We're all open. You're providing great music, one fan at a time, and you'd probably respond to most of them, if not all.
I'm even looking some of the comments that are over there. I know a lot of people just kind of hide in the background, and I wish they wouldn't do that, because I mean, Gwen, Kathy, Brandy, we've got even the birthday boy, Doug, who's on there right now. I get all these people. I know them all. Like, we've met through music. We've met through every one of them. None of them, believe it or not, are my mom. They're none of them. Not my sister. These are genuine supporters of my music. So I love that.
Happy birthday, Doug.
Doug, yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. That's cool.
My wife and I and my kids, we all even sent a message to Doug singing him happy birthday. We love staying connected with our friends and fans.
Absolutely. I mean, you got
one big family is what it is.
It is. And it's a big reunion every time we get together.
Love this. Do you have a name for your guitar?
For my guitar?
Yeah.
No, believe it or not, I play a few different guitars.
Okay.
I've got one that I actually have tattooed right here. And remember, I was telling you my dad that played passed away. This was the guitar that he gave to me when he had passed on, and it was the guitar that I learned how to play on as a kid. I had it rebuilt a couple of times because of playing it so much and stuff like that. So I've kind of retired it a little bit, but
that's cool. That's cool. We always have the tats that, I mean, I have the microphone on my arm, so it's doing what I do, and you got the
it's fitting.
You should see Deb's tattoo.
Yeah, Deb, I was gonna say, where's yours?
You can't
I shouldn't say where's yours. What do you have?
She won't even tell me.
Big secret.
It is. Oh man, who would you say the three people that have been the most influential to you? The three people they've meant the
So
most?
all for different reasons. As an entertainer, Garth Brooks, no question.
Mhm.
As an
Yeah,
entertainer,
yeah.
as a voice, I would say Keith Whitley and Merle Haggard would probably be dead smack in the middle. And as a sound that inspired me, my first record I ever bought myself was Dwight Yoakam.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
So yeah,
I
and
used to crank, was it Cadillacs?
Guitars and Cadillacs.
Guitars and Cadillacs, and then Fast as You, and oh my gosh, I can
Well,
just
I
go
got
on.
one for you. I got two songs I want you guys to remember, and just
Okay.
go when you're all by yourself, and just
Okay.
you want a sound that just gets me excited. One was a Long White Cadillac by Dwight Yoakam,
Okay. Yep.
and the other one was Marty Stewart, Burn Me Down. Touch Me, Turn Me On, and Burn Me
Burn Me
Down.
Down.
Those are
I
songs that just
love those. I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about, Donnie. Oh my gosh. Marty Stewart. Wow. There's a name from the past.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
what a talent.
What a talent. And you know it's Marty. When you see him, there's no doubt he's still got the
Oh,
hair, and now
yeah.
it's like, oh, there's
Very
We see him
Marty.
at the
look.
grocery store here.
Yeah. And he's got the hair and the jacket and everything, and he's
Mhm.
grocery shopping. So
He dresses the way he dresses on stage with the bell bottoms, the
yeah.
denim jacket, and everything. He's shopping through the frozen food section over just a few miles up the house
Oh my
up
God,
the
that's
road here.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Here's kind of a crazy question. What would you say is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it? That's kind of it.
And
Maybe go a little bit
there's a
deep.
lot of failures. That's a great question because I could probably, you know what, probably wouldn't even pertain to music, to be honest with you, because my biggest failure that I can think of was my father, who adopted me, was Mohawk Indian and half Chinese. So my last name Lee, believe it or not, is not a stage name. That's my real last name.
Gotcha.
A lot of people think that I altered my name because I had a different last name or whatever. But my dad grew up in a very Chinese
Mhm.
background,
Mhm.
and when we would go over to his mother's side, it was they lived on the reservation, and there was an opportunity to learn and embrace the culture a lot more than I ever did. But of course, you know, when you're a young kid, sometimes you think you've got all the answers, and I never did. So my biggest failure was, and my dad was never disappointed that I never did. But I wish that I would have paid a lot more attention as a young person. Mom and dad, nobody has your back more than mom and dad. Nobody in this
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, that is
Nobody wants to see us succeed more. And I just wish that I would have paid the respect to have done that. And of course, that's my answer right off the hop. And as
Mhm.
soon as we're done this podcast, I'm going to write down about a million things. That's a great question.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so true though when you think about it and hearing it from someone else, because we
Yeah.
tell our kids all the time, no matter where you go in life, no one's going to have your back more than your parents. They're
No,
just
no, never,
always
never.
there for you, good, bad,
And
and indifferent.
and it's a
So
common thing for us, I think, as we
Mhm.
grow up. And I've got two teenagers that, and believe me, they're amazing children. But it's a natural thing when you get to a certain age to think, okay, now it's time for me to make the decisions and move forward. And
Mhm.
sometimes we walk forward with blinders on, and I
Mhm.
certainly did in that occasion.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
It's amazing.
we
Yeah.
You're blowing me away tonight. I mean, from being
Mhm.
adopted and how you handled all that to, being a dad and the teenagers and some of the failures that, I mean, we all have them. We all have
Yeah.
them and we all learn from them. So,
If any of my friends from school would be on here right now, looking at me, I think I might have been voted the least likely to succeed, or the most likely maybe to be incarcerated, because I was a wild child growing up
yeah.
as a child.
What's the most trouble you ever gotten into?
Mostly in school,
Mhm.
just not being an obedient student, getting
Yeah.
suspended, getting the strap. That was back when they gave the strap.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I got it quite a few times. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot of stories. But you know what? One day when I come through Syracuse, I'll
Mhm.
share a
Yeah,
bunch of those with you.
we'll get together in the pod zone here, and we'll have we we can have our discussion and drink some cold ones and eat some pizza and wings. Would be good.
Mhm.
You got me sold.
Yeah. What
Might be
is
a couple days to hear those stories.
I
Yeah,
know, I know, and then we're gonna do that soon. I hope.
Mhm.
yeah,
At least I hope so.
I'm
What
looking
is
forward to it.
Yeah, that would be really cool to get you back out on the road, hit up some radio stations, and we take good care of you here. Maybe put you in front of some fans as well, maybe
Yeah.
some new fans. So, what is one thing you would like to tell your fans? One thing, maybe just if you could tell your fans anything, what would that be?
My current fans, I would just say, and like I said, we've always been very vocal about this. Every single person that's right now on here, and I didn't even realize we were supposed to have, people, or that people could come on here. I don't even know how this is even happening, but every person that does comes to one of my shows, streams one of my songs, visits me on social media, comments, likes, throws out the hearts, and is involved with it whatsoever. I just got to say thank you. Without, genuinely, without a fan, it's just me singing in my living room, and nobody's out there listening. And the Fans Choice Award that I had won this year
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about that.
I could not have won it, and it was a very difficult category. It was one of the categories that had 10 artists rather than just
Mhm,
three or
mhm,
five. And I honestly never in a million years would have put myself winning that category, but it was them that did it. It wasn't me, it was them.
Mhm.
Well,
So
I can see how you would win it because you're so humble and you're so
Mhm.
cool. You treat all your fans as somebody
and
special,
thank you for
and
that.
Mhm.
I genuinely hope that people I used to be a very cocky person, and I think sometimes we all have
I've been there.
our little slips and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I respect the fact that I get to play music for a living, and I respect the fact that everybody that supports you in your career needs
Mhm.
needs to be needs to be seen, needs to be heard, needs to have their place in it too.
Wow. Took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, that works for all of us that do different things, and we have
Mhm.
our listeners. You've got your fans, and and Deb doing what she does. I mean, there's all these people we respect, and
Yeah,
you're just so humble when you talk about that. Can we hear another song before we say goodbye?
absolutely. Yeah, I'll do the single.
Okay.
Mhm.
And by the way, thank you. I heard you playing it when I came in early on this. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know you didn't wait for me to come on to play it. I heard you playing it
Oh,
when I popped in
Mhm.
15 minutes early there. But this has got me this far. And again, Deb, Skip, thank you very much for
yeah.
taking the time to have me on your show, and I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. And I look forward to
Absolutely.
meeting you guys.
We
Can't
love
wait for
having
that.
you.
And we're not done quite yet, but we want to hear the song. So
All right, let's do it.
here we go.
There's a hand-me-down super sport bell. Daddy's daddy made him promise that never sell. He gave it to me, and man, I gave it hell. I still got it. I got a V2 Sirius silver tone spinning 45. Songs are long gone, but they made me feel alive. The vinyl wears out, but the music never dies. I still got it. You don't throw away your diamond just because it's got some dust on. Trade in a classic cause it's got a little rust. You hold on to the things that matter, no matter how used up they are. I don't give up on things that got me this far. I don't give up on things that got me this far. I got a tattoo of a cross that I ain't afraid to show. Gets me through the bad, never lets me go. It's written on my arm and carved into my soul. And I still got it. You don't throw away your diamond just because it's got some dust on. Trade in a classic cause it's got a little rust. You hold on to the things that matter, no matter used up they are. I don't give up on things that got me this far. I don't give up on things that got me this far. Granddaddy took my grandma's hand with a table cut stone on a 10-carat band. That kind of love's the only kind I understand. Oh, and honey, I'm cut from the very same cloth. And I swear if you slip it on, we can make it just like they made it. You don't throw away a diamond just because it's got some down stone. Trade in a classic because it's got a little rust. You hold on to the things that matter, no matter how used up they are. I don't give up on things that got me this far. I don't give up on things that got me this far. Don't give up on things that got me this far. No, I don't give up on things that got me this far.
Wow. Yeah. And that's you, dude. Don't give up on things that got you this far.
That's right. You know,
that is it, man. That's a life
song
lesson right there.
That's a song for everybody. You know what? You got to take that to heart.
Absolutely. Wow.
Lots of hearts flying away. I love it.
I love it.
That is so cool just watching them come out.
I love it.
So awesome. Yeah. And I know Melissa's on there and Kathy and of course Doug is still there and Kenny. So this is awesome. That's
awesome.
If it what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career? What do you think? If you not being an artist, what else would you be doing? What do you think?
So my wife and I, there's a long story here, but a long story short. So I played music for a lot of years as a child, opened up for a lot of great artists. And then I took a 15-year break. I didn't even play music. And we did a whole bunch of different things. But one of the things we did was we started up a couple of our own businesses, and we were entrepreneurial. So we would probably be looking for the next, I've been a truck driver. I've been a diamond driller in the Arctic. I've worked in construction. I've worked in an office. We've, sales and marketing and management and lots of different things. So I would probably just be chasing another dream, just not knowing what it was until I found it.
Yeah. What would make you give it up for 15 years?
I was young and I was approaching the business the wrong way. One thing we talked about with Deb earlier was, patience. And I think there was a real valuable lesson in being away from the music. I was on the TV show Nashville for the season finale, season 1, just a real quick, small part. It's almost embarrassing to even say I was on the show because I was there and I was gone. But
I'm going to go back and watch it now.
We know a lot of people that have been there and gone on
the
show.
But then I was asked to go back for an audition to do a singing part on the TV show. And I was working. I had my own company at the time, and I was dumb. We had a bunch of friends visiting here in Nashville, and we showed up where the auditions were at Tootsie's, but they had it over 3 days, the auditions for this part. And I was dumb. I didn't understand the TV business. I said, well, give me the last possible spot that I can get. And they said, well, the only thing we can do is we can get you in on whatever day it was at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I'll take it. Well, when I showed up at 9 o'clock in the morning, they held the auditions really early because then the bar opened after, so they could get it. So we could use the venue where there was the band set up and everything, and then they would open up the bar and everybody would be wrapped up and gone. Well, they were already wrapped up and gone when I got there.
Oh no!
So one of the guys that works there came up to me and he said, you here for the audition? I said, yeah. He said, well, it's over. They already found somebody, so they moved on. And I said, oh, great. So I said, what do you want to do? He goes, well, you got your guitar. He said, get up there and go sing me a song. And he was the entertainment director at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. And so I got up and I sang one song, and I'll never forget. He's sitting up in the music booth, and he gets on a cordless microphone. And he says, hey, get over here. And I thought, wow, it's tight. It's tough around here in Nashville. I just sang one song and he's kicking me off the stage. And he says, where do you play? And I said, I don't. He goes, you do now. Get back up there. And I looked at my wife. And she said, honey, you're not getting any younger. And I said, okay. So I had no idea they play for 4 hours at a time there.
Oh,
so
wow.
I played by myself with an acoustic guitar for 4 hours. And
on
then
spur of the moment, right there.
It was 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
so
gosh.
as soon as I started singing, they kicked the doors open to let everybody in early.
Oh, great.
And the place was full, man. Everyone was having a great time. So then my fingers felt like they were going to bleed because I hadn't played the guitar in so long. And then he comes up to me again. He says, you ever play with a band? And I said, yes, sir. He goes, good, you're up next. I played another 4 hours with a band.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's all from the tip jar that's out front, right?
Yeah, all from the tip jar. Yeah,
you know.
Good thing you didn't have anything else to do that day, because.
Yeah, so my friends ended up spending a lot of money and had a great time. We all still chuckle about that every time they come down. They're like, you remember that time you remember Tootsie's? And I said, yeah, I know. That's how we got started again in this music business.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine has been playing. Well, I haven't been out there because of the pandemic, but before he was playing Tootsies on a regular basis, he plays guitar. Somebody needs a guitar player. He goes on the road with him. His name's Jason Teska.
I know Jason very well.
Do you?
I know Jason. He plays with Jake Maurer all the time.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I know Jason and his whole family. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Very well.
I've played a lot of shows with Jason.
Yep. Well, if you do come across him, just say that you talked to Skip on the podcast. He'll
going
know right
to
away.
actually.
We're very good friends, and anytime that I'm there, I make it a point to at least try to catch up with him or give him a phone call or something saying, hey, I'm in town. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get together because we're all so busy, but still, you know, I pop in Tootsies when I'd get there. I'm not even to me, it's a big tourist thing, but because I know Jason is there, I'll go down and get a beer and just hang out, and he'll notice me at the bar and go, hey, dude, you know, and so, but it's been a little bit because of the pandemic, but I don't even know. Maybe he's not playing there now. I don't know, but
no, he's playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
4 hours at a time for anything in that tip jar out front.
Well, and he also will go on the road with Jake down to Texas or wherever they're playing, and they'll do their stuff. Yeah, and Suzanne that plays with them on fiddle, and
yes, oh my God, she's so awesome.
You know who her husband is? He's one of the greatest guitar players ever. He's like him and Brent Mason are #1 in the world in country music. Yeah, what? James Mitchell. Yeah, he's on everybody's records. Yeah, he plays for Alison Krauss.
No,
yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. Wow. I know all those guys very well. Actually, James played on a whole bunch of my songs. So,
oh wow, I'm this whole podcast. I'm like,
I love hearing all the connections.
Well, if I had known, I would have called Jason and say, hey, here's the link. Pop on tonight.
I should text him right now.
It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Donny, it's been great chatting with you here tonight. You're just so humble and so cool, and I love your music. And
thank you guys.
I can see things working for you. And you know, already they have north of the border. You've done really well. You know, I mentioned this when we talked to Lisa last night. I was mentioning some of the artists I used to follow in Canada. Emerson Drive, Danik. Is it Danik, the guitar player? He comes.
Danik, the guitar player for me. Yeah.
Yep, he would come through Syracuse on his way back to was it Ottawa or Montreal somewhere? But his dad worked for Labatt's. And his dad sent me a whole thing of Labatt glasses, but they were all in French. And it was like, wow, these are cool. And
that's a good connection. He's a heck of a producer. Let me tell you, he's producing some great records right now.
Is he? It's been a little bit, but when Emerson Drive, you know, I should be sleeping and songs along those lines back here.
Moments.
Yep. Moments. Yes. Definitely good stuff. But Danik, and he would fly through Syracuse, and whenever he came through, he would just give me a call and say, hey, let's do lunch. I don't have a flight home till later this afternoon. And I'd pick him up. The airport's about a mile from where I am right here. And then we'd go do lunch, and then I took him back to the airport. But cool stuff. And I used to follow Doc Walker.
Yeah. I know those guys too. Yeah. From Manitoba.
Oh my gosh. And I just Donny, there's another example of why didn't they make it here in the States? Why couldn't they do something here? I mean, the music.
You mentioned those guys though, because back when I used to tour when I was younger, I was on the same circuit as Doc Walker and Emerson Drive back in those days.
Dude, do you
Yeah.
remember? All right. Well, I don't know if it Emerson Drive way back when they first started. Their tour bus looked like a zebra.
I don't remember the
No,
zebra
and-
bus. No.
Nope. And their manager was their bus driver. It was almost like
Okay.
a Partridge Family, you know.
Yeah.
But their tour bus had the black and white stripes, and it was an old bus, and
Yeah.
and the tour manager drove it, and they did all their radio shows and everything. It was crazy. But
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first tour bus was a converted school bus.
There
It
you
was
go.
it was not a pretty bus, let me tell you.
What about Aaron Lines?
Yeah, so Aaron Lyons up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. I don't know if he's doing very much in music anymore. I
I don't
haven't heard
think
his
he
name
is.
in quite a while.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just thinking back to some of the people that I had gotten to know pretty good at the time.
Yeah.
Aaron was another
Remember
one.
Adam Gregory?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Let's keep throwing names out there. Deb's going, oh, who's this? Who's that? But
I know, but that's
I
okay.
get to
I'm learning a
run
lot.
into a lot of these guys at
Mhm.
the award shows and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that, and we get to kind of hang out and kind of just chat about the days, and
Oh my
we've
God.
shared a lot of the same musicians and stuff, so there's a lot of road stories and stuff like that. You get to swap back and forth, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm totally blown away today.
See, it's a small world, actually, when
Yeah,
you think
it's
about
very
it.
small world. Do me a favor though, when you do text Jason or whatever, tell him Skip
Yeah.
said hello. Tell him
I'm
how
going
much
to do that as soon as we get done, actually.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. What's your favorite drink? You drink whiskey?
Yeah, I'm a Jack Daniels guy.
Yeah.
Actually, anybody that's watching right now knows that's probably true. I'm surprised nobody said anything about Jack Daniels over there.
Oh,
And in California, they started the show right after Tyler Rich left the stage, and I got up on the stage. They started the show and threw 2 bottles of Jack right up on the front of the stage.
oh, nice. I think someone mentioned whiskey somewhere way up.
Oh yeah, somebody
one of the-
probably did.
Up in the early comments there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
look
thought I
at
saw
Brandy's over
something,
there
but
saying Jack. She knows.
Not at all.
yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
That's
So,
awesome.
But
Are you?
I'm also a fan of tequilas too, but I don't obviously, I like to just have a few tequilas, but I don't like shots of tequila. I like to just sip on a good tequila, stuff like that. How about you?
Ooh, I can't drink that
I'm
straight.
a Jack guy.
Are ya?
Yeah, I drink a lot of Jack.
That's it. Shauna, book us a trip to Syracuse when this pandemic's over.
Screw that. The hell with that. We'll go to Nashville. I mean,
That's right. Yeah,
that's
come
where
on
the Jack
down.
is.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
be
that's
there in 2 weeks or
Yeah,
3 weeks, whatever it is.
Are you
so.
coming back in 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'll be there the weekend of the 15th. Are you playing anywhere by any chance?
I will be.
During-
Yeah, I will be.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
make sure you come find me.
I will. I'll check. It'll be on your website, right?
It will be.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. All right, we'll track you down. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I'm broke. I'm heartbroken. I can't go. But that's where, if I'm going to drink Jack, I'm in Nashville somewhere drinking Jack. And usually
We'll have to go
it's
to
not
the
in heart
factory.
attack. There you go. We'll go to
Distillery.
the factory or go out to the station inn.
Yeah.
Yep. And some cool places. Once you get
Yeah.
outside of town, it's pretty cool.
That's
Donny,
right.
we don't mean to keep you any longer. I mean, it's been a great conversation. You're a great guy. As I mentioned, you're very humble. I do
at you
appreciate
guys.
you taking the time to join us here tonight. And you definitely have a ton of fans because I can see these numbers on the right-hand side of my screen. And
the hearts are going. They're still
Hearts
going.
are going.
Hearts are
Throw the
going.
hearts out there. Come on, show them what we got.
Yep. And just before we say goodbye, and for a lot of our new fans for Skip Happens podcast, if you want to give us a like or subscribe on YouTube, we do have a YouTube channel. Please do that. Help us get our numbers up, and we help Donny Lee get his numbers up. And Deb, you've got give them your details as well.
Our Facebook page. Oh yeah, let's see. At the official CMFC Country Music Fan Club, like our page. And Donny, if you get a chance, like our page. This way, when your music is out or you're throwing out promotional whatever, we can send it off to all your
Absolutely.
new fans that
As
are
soon as I'm
that are
done.
going to be on board, and that'll be great. We're on Instagram also, the official _CMFC. So we're out there. We're all over.
And you do your New Music Fridays.
And we do New Music Friday. I have a great social media team. They're so awesome.
they are
So when
great.
you have new music coming out, we will definitely have it out on Friday.
And I've already liked you. My wife already did it for me. It's already done. She can hear you.
I love her. Thank you. We'll have to get to meet her. So
Tell her we said hello, and we
Yes.
said
They're waving.
So thank you very
She's
much.
waving.
Appreciate it.
She's one of those where I'm not going on camera. I'm not going on camera. My wife
Oh,
is
is she?
no,
Really?
my wife is like the same way where it's like, no, just it's okay, honey. It's okay.
She's always handling all the back end stuff, and she
Yeah.
always says, "Do not call me out. Do not this." Everybody that knows my wife loves her, but she just doesn't.
Right.
She never wants to be out there
Totally.
in the spotlight. She just kind of likes being where she does it best.
Hey, that's a very important role, being on the back end, and I totally
I bet,
relate.
right?
So she's doing a fantastic job. It's not an easy thing to do, trust me.
Oh,
So we
Oh, I
definitely
heard her.
appreciate.
I think I just heard her.
you did hear her. Yes, yes.
Yes, I did.
We appreciate you very much.
Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So there she is.
That's so awesome. Donny, thank you so much. If you want to hang on after we log off, that'd be greatly appreciated. Just we can talk a little bit without the cameras and the microphone on. But all right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Skip Happens Podcast, Mr. Donny Lee. Make sure you check out the website, DonnyLeeMusic.com. It's all right there. This guy is phenomenal. One of the most humble people we've ever gotten to chat with. No, it goes this way.
Thank you
All right.
for joining us.
Good night, everybody. We'll
Good
see ya.
night.
See ya.